What's up, everybody? This is Michael Ortiz Jr., owner of Massage Customs here in Las Vegas. And today I bring on Chrisie Augustina, who is a copywriter. And today we're just going to have a conversation about her success and her transition from being a massage therapist into copywriting, which is completely out of left field, in my opinion.
It's out of left field.
I definitely wasn't expecting that.
Neither was I.
Yeah, whenever I saw that happen, I was like, "This is crazy." But apparently, you're pretty good at it.
Oh God, I'm great at it. Earlier today, I'm so serious. Earlier today, I was doing a live stream with one of my friends, and she has this chakra cleansing. Oh gosh, this is the perfect audience to talk about stuff like that. She has this really awesome chakra cleansing meditation. Because the cool thing, actually, as a copywriter, I specifically write copy for mostly transformational type coaches, mindset coaches. They're all into super woo-woo stuff, which is perfect because so am I as a massage therapist. But yeah, I was in my friend's group. She asked me to go in there because I'm obsessed with her chakra cleansing meditation. And when I'm obsessed with something, I talk about it to everyone, including the person who made the thing or whatever. And so I've been sending her all these messages. She's like, "Hey, can you come in and talk about this?" And then on our interview, this is me explaining why I'm like, no, I really am so good at this. Because then on our live stream, I'm giving her workshop ideas. I'm giving her ideas on how to position her, all her different stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of always thinking about now. I can't really help it anymore. Now I'm always thinking about how are we communicating what we do to our audience so we magnetize soulmate clients. Those are my sound bites.
Did you find that you were actually really good at this when you had your own massage practice?
Well, you know what? I did always love sales, which copywriting is. There's this conversation in the early copywriting stages, anybody who's new to copywriting. There's a conversation of content versus copy. And it has one big distinction, which is content is just value. And whereas, so a blog or something like that, but it becomes copy technically when you add a call to action, when you actually ask somebody to do something at the end, hey, join my email list, or hey, I created this checklist or a guide, download it. So, yeah. So all of that to say that copywriting is really just written sales. And I have always loved sales, because I think you'll really appreciate this. I think you're like this too. It's sales is so fun because I love that it involves psychology, human behavior. I love that with with marketing and with sales. I think it's very honest, as far as you don't hear that often. But I think what I'm saying is not that the people are always honest, but what I think is very honest is people's response. So here's what I'm saying. How you could go around and say hey, if I made this thing, would you buy it? People will give you one response, but you nailed whatever your offer, the thing that you created, you nailed it when people actually swipe their card and buy it.
Yeah, because when you ask that question, most people are going to be, absolutely, I would totally buy this.
Yeah,
this is awesome. And then you get a physical product of it, and they're like, well, how much?
Yeah. No, it's so true.
$40?
So true.
I don't know.
That's I know.
So much.
I know. Yeah. So to answer your question about was I always good at this? I was always really interested in sales, and then copywriting just happened to be sales and writing, which was fun. I like it.
That's interesting because I do like sales. Of course, I absolutely love psychology. And pretty much every business book I read has some sort of psychology, human behavior, relationship stuff in it. But I don't necessarily like writing copy.
Yeah. Well, so first of all, I can really tell that about from your content, that you're really into all that stuff. Well, also you're a business owner. You can't have a business and not sell. If you have a business, What?
Have you told massage therapists this before? Because
I know. It's controversial. I remember like all of those conversations around like the healer mentality or whatever. And I just, yeah, I mean, you got to sell. So,
yeah,
but, oh geez, I don't remember exactly what I was going to say.
you could tell from my content that I like.
Oh, the writing. So, yeah, so I totally get that because actually I had to overcome, oh my gosh, like I haven't thought about this in a while, but for the first year of being a copywriter, now I think I'm like going on 4 years almost. So for the first year,
Dang, okay.
I know time flies. It's
Yeah, it
crazy.
does.
I know, it's insane, which I'm so grateful because I couldn't wait to get through that first year because being new at something sucks. But anyway, so the first year, I was calling myself a copywriter, but I wasn't really acting like a copywriter. I was learning how to be a copywriter, and really I was acting more like a social media manager. In fact, oh my gosh, this is so interesting, or at least like I think your audience will appreciate this, that my first client was my chiropractor who I worked for.
No, that's cool.
Isn't that cool?
That's very cool.
I love
So
that.
they must have really trusted your ability.
Well, yeah, he knew that I was like I was at the time I was like taking all these marketing courses, and I was just, that entire year so the year before I became a copywriter, I think, was I a copywriter yet? I honestly don't really remember, but I had just taken my first copy course. Anyways, so yeah, so for the first year of being a copywriter, I carried around the book High Performance Habits. You know that book?
I have it in my list, but I haven't read it yet.
Oh, it's
I know.
So good.
I know.
So anyways, I literally carried it around with me everywhere. But sometimes I get a little obsessive like that anyway. But I carried it around with me everywhere. If I pulled it off my bookshelf, which is right behind me, you would see it's just so marked up because I would read sections and reread it and reread it. It's crazy because back then I felt like one of my biggest problems was I wasn't like productive enough. And now some days I'm like, I look at everything I did that day and I'm like, oh my God, that's insane. That book, it works. Habits of high, I can't believe I can't remember
highly
this.
productive people, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It's Brendan Burchard. He's awesome.
Yes. I definitely, I haven't read it. I think my wife just read that book actually, but
it's super
it's
good.
on my, I think I'll probably put that up to the top of the list as of probably right now. I might start it today.
Well, I know we both we have similar tastes in books because I remember when you were digging the 5-second rule.
Yeah,
that book is
fire. So freaking good.
So good. It's life changing. Like you don't want to read this book.
So you like high performance habits better?
I mean, I'm not saying I like it better. I will tell you that currently, I don't know if your audience is gonna care about this, but this is currently like my Bible, and like how I was with that other book, the Brendan Burchard book, is how I am with this book. It's like crazy. I have like Post-its and like it's like every page is, and so it's marketing made simple. It's so good. Basically, it teaches you how to create a very simple sales funnel, which is just 5 parts. It's you get your elevator pitch nailed down because all the work you do for your elevator pitch really gets you super clear on like who, what, why, like all that stuff. Right. So after that, then you would have like your landing page. So that could be like your homepage, your website. Right. What else is there? Your lead generator. So something that you can give somebody as value so that you can, here's the most important thing. Anybody who's listening, oh my gosh, like so many people have these really beautiful websites. And I'm like, and this is a real thing that happened. I had a client who she dropped her blog in a Facebook group. She was a realtor. She dropped her blog, like a link to her blog in a Facebook group. And she was like, oh my God, like 200 people visited my website. And I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. But then it was like, how many of those people are you ever going to talk to again? Like, did you get an email from anybody? The answer was no. So I see that all the time. People have these really beautiful websites and then they don't have like a freebie or something that's going to really, get somebody.
Capture their information.
Oh my God. That's like the number one job of your website.
Yeah.
And so then that's 3 things. What else? Oh, a nurture email sequence. So when somebody gets that freebie, what emails are they getting? And I really recommend, gosh, I wish I had this together. Well, don't worry about that. Anyways, but it's this like freebie that I'm actually working on. But I lost my train of thought. Oh, I really recommend like just over delivering. So if somebody like gets that freebie from you, then, you know, send them the freebie and then send them something else too. You know, it's like, I'm so happy you're here. Like, here's another thing because I love to over deliver. And then from there, you know, then having a sales email sequence so that you can actually sell to your leads.
So what do you say to people who are like, you know, there's a lot of talk around the massage therapy industry about giving things away for free or discounting things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you get resistance from massage therapists when you tell them to offer some sort of freebie or deal or offer?
I mean, I know what you're saying because I remember like, you know, even gosh, if I'm completely transparent, I remember this is gonna like people are not gonna like this so much, but but I remember when I worked at you might like it because you own a
Hey,
spa.
I don't mind hurting people's feelings.
Okay, great. Here we go. So I remember when I worked at the spa, which wasn't that long ago actually, because I loved, and this is what I was saying to you before we hit record, is like I absolutely loved being a massage therapist. Out of college, I was a teacher. I hated that. Oh my God, that was a nightmare. I hated bureaucracy and all of everything about that was horrible. After that, I had like a midlife crisis, but at like 28. And so then I went into corporate sales. So I did do sales for a few years. So I did have sales training there. But it was corporate. So I was like literally like people, you know, they were trying really, truly, they were active. It was a growing company too, but they were like actively trying to promote me. And I'd be like, no, I'm not going to get stuck here. Yeah. So then when I got laid off, it was amazing. And I knew instantly, like I had like competitors trying to recruit me and I was like, no. I didn't know what I was going to do. Side note, I ended up driving Uber for a little bit. And that was back before women drove Uber. So that was really a strange experience because every single person, I mean, really, it was truly before any women drove Uber. So every single person that would get in my car would be like, oh, girl. I'm like, yeah, get over it. I'm trying to figure out my life, okay?
That's funny.
So anyways, then I ended up signing up for massage school. And so what I'm saying is massage was the first work that I ever did in my life where I was like, oh, I feel like myself. Like, honestly, it makes me like want to cry even right now. Like I finally felt like myself. I loved like, I never trained in energy work, but like, I love like playing with energy and that's what it felt like to me. It was just like play,
Right.
you know? I love to be a massage therapist. Where was I leading with that? What was the
Something about
question?
getting pushed back on discounts.
Thank you. So, okay. So, what I was saying was I actually worked at the spa like not that long ago. And let me center about it. Being at the spa, again, popular conversations that happen is people love to bitch about how they're not making enough money. And I'm like, okay, here's the thing. Like I come here, I show up, I do massages, and then I leave. So I don't pay for any of the overhead here. I don't pay to bring anybody through the door. You know, my husband's a musician and that mindset is in that industry as well. Where it's kind of like, oh, well, you know, they're highly trained to be able to like play jazz the way that they do. They're highly trained and they feel undervalued. But it's like, hey, are you like trying to bring more people through the door? Are you negotiating your deals? I'm saying like, there's a price for all of that, you know? So anyways, when it comes to the freebie stuff, this is the bottom line is it takes a lot of touch points. Like a lot, like people will say numbers. People will say, oh, you have to touch, you know, a new lead like 7 times. Or like sometimes I hear like it's
Like
increasing
22.
every day. It's like, yeah, you hear all kinds of numbers. Let's just say it's 1 million because that's basically what it is. And so I really believe like you should over deliver on the front end. Like I said, like if I give somebody a freebie, this is it. Your online presence is your storefront. And do you walk into a store? I actually don't even really shop that much, so this is a funny example for me to give. But do you walk into a store and just buy stuff? Like, no, you need to like go and try it on, you know? So that's what your freebie stuff is doing. It's giving people a taste of what you do so that they can go, I like this person. Because believe it or not, liking you is a huge reason why somebody will buy from you. It's huge. Mm-hmm. So give some.
I get that. I do. I think a lot of people do book with me from Instagram because of the content that I put up there. But I'll post.
Oh yeah, your content on Instagram is awesome.
I'll post funny stuff. I'll post massage videos. It's not your typical massage therapy type stuff. You know, there might be cussing in the videos or the song or the sound that I'm using. And so anytime somebody comes in from Instagram, I just laugh a little bit. I always laugh a little bit. I'm like, you really seeing me out there, you know? Like I am not professional on Instagram, almost never.
I love that.
And so
you know what you do really well is like you are yourself. So like if I can very easily like go, these are the things that I think of when I think of Michael. Would you go by Michael or do you go by Mike?
Either one is fine. Most people call me Michael, but
okay, cool. That's what I call you, but also I don't know.
Yeah,
so
no preference.
But yeah, so I think of like, you know, you have like humor. I can tell like you're like really playful and all of that, right? And then also you talk a lot about success stuff, which is probably why I have continued to follow your stuff because I love anybody who's talking about success stuff.
Right.
And then also you share a lot about your family. So I feel like that's kind of like another pillar of your brand. You like talk about your family, you know, you put stuff up about your kids and yeah. So, and then also not that this is a pillar of your brand, but I also know you're in Nevada, which by the way,
maybe it is a pillar of my brand. It's Nevada. It's not Nevada.
Yeah, I was just wondering because I'm from Florida, so I actually would say Nevada, but I live in Colorado, so I know better.
Yeah, no, everybody says no. A lot of people say Nevada. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, literally everyone outside of Nevada and Colorado would say Colorado and Nevada.
Well,
but I get it.
Hold on, am I saying Colorado wrong?
Yeah, so people who live here, like my husband is from here. You say Colorado.
Colorado.
Just the way that you would say Nevada?
That's
Colorado.
Dumb. That's dumb.
You know what's cool about you saying that that's dumb is now you're experiencing everybody else's Nevada.
Nevada just sounds right. Maybe. Yeah, you're right though. Colorado.
Yeah.
Colorado. It's
Colorado.
The thing is, Nevada is Nevada is extra work to me. Colorado is extra work to me. In America, we're lazy when it comes to speech, and so.
We'll say that to anybody who's from here, which there's like that number is decreasing by the day.
I'm going to make a point of saying it to people when I go there.
Which one? Colorado?
It's fun. Yeah. Colorado. I don't even.
Oh yeah. Anybody who's from here knows it's Colorado.
But yeah, I post, honestly, a lot of that stuff that I post on it's intentional, you know, like I want people to think that I'm a good father, even though it's not like I'm not behind closed doors, but yeah, you know, I put that type of stuff out there because, you know, maybe I like working with people who have kids and so I want to attract that for sure. You follow, I don't know if you follow my business profile. It sounds like you're following more my personal Instagram. Like Michael Ortiz Jr. Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I post less massage content there, and it's more. I'm transitioning way more into business focus, and like success type stuff.
I don't think I knew that you had another page. So it's on Instagram, but it's another page for business.
Yeah, just at Massage Customs.
Cool. Okay.
And so yeah, anytime somebody comes in from there, like I said, I always have a good laugh because I'm like, man, you see me do some stupid stuff, like, and you still came here. And honestly, those are my favorite people because like they do like see my personality.
Because they get you.
And that's, yeah, they're like, this guy's funny, or I just love your one video about farting was so hilarious, you know, like, because I made a video about clients farting, you know, and like, just like, I'm like, just tell me you have to fart. Don't just like cough and shake it and scare the crap out of me and the middle of a massage, you know.
That's
And then
hilarious.
we have to have this awkwardness, you know. I could step out, you know, and so
Dude, that's so true.
so so like I'm like, I don't care, like, but don't scare the crap out of me in the middle of my massage. Like I'm in the zone.
That is
And
awesome. Oh
so
my
I
God.
had clients mention that video, and I thought it was. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, like that's part of it. Like, you know, those people who do like the content that I put out, for sure, end up being some of my favorite people.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because like I was saying, it's like those people, they get you, they see you, they are your people. They have chosen you when they've seen you make crazy things. You know what I mean?
But yeah, a lot of massage therapists, they do have a problem. I guess musicians too, like you said,
Mhm.
with their worth. I would say like they think they're worth more than they are, or like their value in the marketplace is higher than it is just because they are who they are. When they don't have any
Right.
brand, they don't have a brand built yet. Nobody knows who they are yet, you know, and they're not putting up any content, but then all of a sudden they're worth an X amount of dollars, which is, I'm like, how do you even know what you're worth?
Mhm.
This is
Mhm.
when people say that, I'm like, well, what are you worth?
Right.
Because nobody's paying you that right now. So like,
Mhm.
how are you worth that?
Ooh,
If
that's
you
really
can't get people to
interesting.
pay that, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, totally.
So so how do you think these therapists could like do a better job of getting their stuff out there to actually attract people that will pay what they charge,
Ooh.
which is probably usually undercharging, to be honest with you.
Right. I remember. I mean, honestly, that's like pricing is very tricky. I still work on like not sabotaging myself with pricing. And I mean, I'm talking about like at the thousands of dollars level. I'm still like, oh, you can knock $200 off of that. You know what I mean? Like, I just like, ah. So it really is so easy to sabotage yourself when it comes to stuff like that. But okay, I'm going to write this down because I want to come back to differentiating yourself and creating a brand. But I wanted to say when it comes to, because I feel like this helped me with the worth topic, because it's something that's like, we all feel that. I mean, not
Yeah.
literally everybody. Have you
How,
ever heard of what?
how do you overcome your money blocks, your
Yeah,
money
so I'm
issues?
thinking about the worth thing. Like something that really, really helped me was to recognize that I'm literally priceless. You can't put a price tag on my worth. Like, so we don't have to prove our worth through the pricing of our services, right? Like those things are separate from who I am as a human being. It's literally priceless. So no one can pay me my worth. That's the bottom line. Then when it comes to my services, I would say that just because you're really skilled does not mean that that's like the worth of your services. And the reason why is because, you know, business or like commerce, it's not a one way, it's a transactional thing or whatever. You can do it relationally, but regardless, there's two parties involved. It's
Yeah.
not about you. And actually business should be more about the client anyways. But but if you want to command higher rates, there's two things I would say to do, and they're almost like the same thing. But I love that you were saying like create a brand. Oh my gosh, yes, that is literally what I do all the time. So I'm saying that to say that I really believe in that, which is right now I help coaches go from having like a business. So they have the same thing going on, right? They go from having a business to having a personal brand, right? So rather than being a commodity massage, it's like massage with Chrissy, you know? And those are different things because when someone decides that they can only have this service or commodity with me, all of a sudden the value of that goes up because there's only one me.
Yeah.
And I only have so much time. So that's how you start to increase like the demand for you. Oh my gosh, you know what? This topic is covered so much better than this, even in a book that is really, really great. It's called Unsubscribed. And even if you didn't read the whole book, even if you only read chapter 1, because in chapter 1, he gives an example that I like will not be able to recite, but it's so good. And it's like an example of Gary Vee at some event, at creating demand. And here's the bottom line about the example they give, but you have to like read chapter 1 of this book. Basically, they're saying to create high demand, you don't need to have like a ton of leads. All you need to have is, it's just a matter of supply and demand. You literally only need to have one more, or I guess you could think of it either way, one less of the product than there is demand. So you need to have 2 people want the one same thing. That makes it more valuable.
Yes.
Right. So if you can like create a brand around you, there's only one you. So there's that. The other thing, the thing that is people usually have, because doing that, you have to overcome like visibility blocks. Because you have to be.
What do you mean by what visibility? Like wanting to make videos and
just
pictures, put yourself out there,
like see you. Yeah. However it is, whether you're posting photos, making videos, maybe it's not even posting. Maybe you do in-person networking. Whatever it is, like you have to actually, stand in your power, as my husband says when he's like kind of making fun of me and my girlfriends. Like, I'm gonna go stand in my power. I love that so much. I'm like, yeah, we do kind of talk to each other like that.
Yes, for sure.
So anyway,
you know what? My wife would listen to this book called "Girl, Wash Your Face."
Yeah, totally, exactly.
I would totally like, I'm gonna go wash my face. Oh, but dude, that girl is so popular. Anyways, go ahead. Yeah.
Super. Yeah. If you want to look at personal branding, definitely follow her stuff. So, but yeah, so you definitely, when you're thinking about, creating a personal brand, you are definitely, or marketing yourself in any way, you're going to have those visibility things come up, and that's totally natural because, you're now stepping forward and saying like, I do this thing, I own that. Right. And I'm comfortable being seen in this, like as his authority, because it's not just in the massage industry. It happens to like everyone. There's a phase of being in business where you're waiting for someone. Maybe not everybody has this, but I think it's pretty common. There's a phase where you're waiting for somebody to come and like give you permission. And it's like, that person's not coming. So you need to just own it and like move forward. So there's that. But then the other piece is with personal branding is then, okay, now you're showing up. How do you differentiate yourself from other massage therapists? What makes you unique? How is your massage different from other people? Like actually, when I first started following your stuff, the reason I started following your stuff was because you were really into Thai massage at the time. You remember that?
Yeah.
And I was so like obsessed with Thai massage. I never really learned how to do it, but it seemed so cool. Like it just seemed very like physical. And I mean, as a massage therapist, I'm really attracted to that. Is like just like being able to like move my body in all kind of like fun ways. Yeah. So so there's that. But then I'm also thinking about, who I've become friends with is Melinda. You remember Melinda Liu?
For sure.
Okay, so Melinda is doing, we could think of 2 different times she differentiated herself. When I started following her stuff, it was because I was a massage therapist. And at the time she was teaching other massage therapists how to make 6 figures. That was like her whole thing. Okay, cool. Yeah. That's how she's different from other massage therapists. But then now she doesn't even do that anymore. Now she's all about this like frequency
therapies.
Yeah. Frequency therapy, which is really interesting and is really different. And you don't do frequency therapy. So if I want frequency therapy, I would think of Melinda. If I wanted Thai massage, I might think of you. I don't know if you still do that, but you know what I mean?
I'll feel you.
Yeah. So this is important because if you want to create value or, have a rate that you're like, that feels really, really good for you and that people love to pay you, then differentiate yourself. Say, this is like, I put my stake in the ground. This is what I do. This is what I'm great at. I own that. Like at the beginning of this conversation, when you said, oh, you're great at it. I'm like, I am great at it, So know that you're great at it and just own that and let people know,
I think a lot of people have a problem saying that they're great at something because they're afraid, maybe societal expectations, that are afraid to seem cocky.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not, but I mean, a lot of people are.
No, I don't. I'm like, how can I say? Because a lot of these things, I feel like they're like 1 degree from being on the positive side. And I don't even know how to really say that in any other way.
Confident.
Gosh. Yeah. I don't really know how to
instead,
communicate that.
well, instead of saying it's cocky, you just say, no, I'm confident, right? Like it's just a little, is that what you mean?
Yeah. And I think that like there's just like certain energies in there. It's like, okay, how about this? Like I feel like if you approach the world like trying to prove something, then you're gonna project. Like you're gonna have all these weird insecurities about coming off cocky because you are being cocky, right? Because you need other people to be smaller for you to be big. But if you are a collaborative person, which I am obsessed with collaborating with people. Like I love making friends with other copywriters, for example, because I think it keeps my ego in check. I love when I was like going all in on email copywriting, one of my biz besties was an email copywriter. So I just think that's really good is to have like a collaborative spirit, because if you keep a collaborative spirit, then you're like, I want other people to win. So like, if I want other people to win, like I want them to win. I want me to win. I want my clients to win. Me and my husband, we have a thing that we used to say, we haven't said it in a while, but we used to say like win-wins. We love those, like I want everybody to win. I don't need other people to be small for me to be big.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So how did you even get into this in the first place? Like, what made you want to actually transition from this to going into copywriting?
Yeah, well, the reason I transitioned, no. The reason I transitioned was, meaning the reason I actually left massage was because I kind of had to. It was like, it was getting crazy. I was having too many clients, and then it was like going to the spa, and then I like reduced it to like 2 days, and then I reduced it to 1 day. And then I was like, oh my God, I woke up at 3:00 in the morning to write stuff. So I can only see like one client a shift, but I'm only working one. It was crazy. So I stopped doing massage because it didn't make sense for me anymore. But the way that I got into copywriting, so glad that you asked, was that the one box that massage did not check for me, because I've always been this person who really like, I wanted to have like a career that just checked all these particular boxes for me. And the one box and so obviously a big one of that is like passion, and I feel like myself, and I don't have to pretend to be something I'm not, and all that kind of stuff. So there's that. I also wanted to be able to do like help people like from wherever. So
right.
You don't have to be like I remember when I was in massage shifters and people say
you need variety.
No. I mean, like literally I can't touch you through a screen.
Right.
So it was like, it wasn't because of variety. It was like, I felt like that was capping, and this isn't necessarily true. This was just how I perceived it.
Right.
Which is, I felt like my income and my impact, because I feel like those things go together. I'm not necessarily like the most mission driven person. I really just get fired up about the work, but the more impact you have, then, obviously the more money you make. So the way that I felt was like, I was like, I know people over here. I know people over there. I've moved a lot. So I'm like, I know people all over, but like none of those people can be my client because I literally can't reach them. So I just didn't really know, like, I was like, do I want to do energy work? What should I do? But like, I have a hard time. Like, I know I get it. You can do energy long distance, but like my brain can't believe it or something. So, anyways, so even though I actually really do believe it, but for some reason I also don't. It's a weird thing. So anyways,
I'm with you.
Yeah. But I do, but I don't, but it literally, I could do that 60 times.
But I do, but I
don't. So what the heck was I going to say about that? Oh yeah. So how I got into copywriting was I was in Florida. Like basically I moved all these places. I finally moved back home. And then I started dating one of my friends who lived in Colorado. And he was my friend from when I had lived here before. And I knew like pretty quickly, like really, really, because he's so awesome. I knew really quickly that it was going to work. Like that was my exact thoughts. I was like, this is going to work. And then I was like, shit, because we're like long distance. And then when I came home, I saw an Instagram ad, and this is so crazy that this worked, but an Instagram ad that was like, do you want to make money from anywhere? You can become a copywriter. And I was like, oh, great. I'll try that. And the course at the time was $497, which to me at the time was like $1 million. And then, so I was on the payment plan. And then now that course is like almost $2,000. It's like 1,997. And I know that because the girl whose course it is now my client. So she has me like lead all kinds. Yeah. So it's really, really awesome. I guess copy coaching. I lead challenges and stuff and mentor, like now that the community went from like, a couple hundred people to like, she's been very focused and diligent about growing the community and like growing the course and the value of it too. Yeah. There's thousands of newbie. Everybody in there isn't really newbie. That's not really true. Anyways, there's thousands of copywriters in there. And so I lead all these challenges in there and stuff like that. So, but that's how it started was I took that course. And the crazy thing is, and now I write these for people because this changed my life, which is the ad. You click on the ad. And then you would get the first email with a video, like, she had like a 3-part series, through over 3 emails where she teaches you like, here's what's possible. Here's what you can do, whatever, like a mini course. And then she pitches you at the end. And yeah, I bought it. And then, like I said, I actually even have a digital course that teaches people how to make, mini courses. Because I love those mini courses because a mini course changed my life.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's crazy.
So by the way, the reason that I took a chance on that was because I was super motivated. I always wanted to find exactly what I wanted to do, but I got really motivated when I realized I was going to have to move to a place with winter. And I was like, I need to be able to escape winter.
So now that you have this copywriting career where you literally could do this from anywhere.
Yeah.
Are you traveling?
No. You know what I discovered was, I was going to say like, I don't even really want to travel, but no, but actually what I really discovered was that, I really could. I think every woman is different, but like for me, I really just like, because I'm thinking about some women might be like, I know some women like that where they're like, okay, like they go and they travel and they do their own thing, but like I'm kind of obsessed with my husband. So I like love being with him. And luckily he loves me like that too. So, and his job doesn't allow him to just like pick up. I mean, he has a lot of freedom. Like I told you, he was a musician until the pandemic happened. Then his career completely went away. And then he pivoted, went to construction. Now he's going to be a realtor. I'm really proud of him actually. Like super. The pandemic was very hard on musicians. Very. Yeah. I say this because if anybody hears this, like you should support musicians because they had a really rough time from the pandemic. I guess massage therapists did too, right?
I mean, some of them. Yeah, for the 3 months, but the career didn't go away after.
No, it didn't for me either. Like I was
it kind of blew up after that.
Yeah, right. Because everybody wanted like all the touch. Yeah, so music has like it's had a hard time coming back.
But
so anyway,
sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
No, yeah. So that's it. So I don't actually, but I will say this. I did have a moment where I like really felt into that freedom where I was like, whoa, like that's so cool. I have those a lot, but they mostly happen when I don't have to wake up to an alarm or I can stay up as late as I want. Like that's usually when I feel it. But maybe a couple of years ago now, it was right before the pandemic or like right after. I think right after.
Okay, so I do want to talk to you about your schedule, but
oh sure,
there was something you said a while ago.
What?
You said that's what I perceived, but it wasn't actually true.
Yeah.
Which was an interesting statement.
Yeah.
Because how do you differentiate between, okay, this isn't true, but this is what I think, or like there's not a lot of people who are self-aware enough to make a statement like that. Like it's not true, but like that is such a self-aware statement.
Thank you so much. That is so nice.
Anybody say?
Yeah, that's really, really sweet. I really appreciate that. Well, remember that I work with a lot of like a lot of my clients are, manifestation coaches. A lot of my clients are like, they do like NLP. Do you know what NLP is?
Neuro-linguistic programming. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So, they're attracted to me. I'm attracted to them because I'm obsessed with doing all of that, like deep work. So that's like my hobby is like reflecting on what are my fears? What are what emotions am I holding in my body? How do I release them? Like all that stuff. But,
Yeah.
how did how was I able to see the distinction? Because when I said it out loud, I realized that it wasn't true. Like I was saying out loud, like, I honor the fact that was true for me then, that there was a cap on my income because I couldn't work, now I have clients. I have a client who lives in New Zealand. I've had multiple clients that live in New Zealand, right? So
Yeah.
you do that with massage, right? I guess you could, but again, these are where I just don't really believe in some of these limitations. I know that they seemed real for me, but I also know that they're not real. And actually looking at you in your office is what made me realize, because I know that you are scaling your business. So that's basically what it's like. No, you can scale a massage business because you're doing it.
You can scale your reach. Like I'm trying to scale my reach through training massage therapists, right? Like, and helping them improve their massages, even if they don't work for me, right? Like I'm creating some courses around that as well.
I love that.
Because yes, I understand the same thing. Like I am only one person. I can only get my hands on so many people individually. And I loved what you said about the more impact you have, the more income. And I think that's one of the biggest things I need people to realize is when it comes to their, like, what do they think they should be worth or whatever, or how much they think they should be making, or they feel like certain income's not fair that this person makes so much money and I don't. It's mostly because you don't have the same impact, right? Like,
yeah,
you're not
totally
touching as many people's lives as they're touching. That's why Apple is one of the most wealthy companies, because literally everyone has one of their phones.
It's so true.
Or had one before they switched to Android and made a bad decision, and but their product is touching so many different people's lives. And yes,
we're dependent on them.
Yeah,
we're dependent on them.
If you can't, and if you can't, your income, I think, is in direct proportion to how many people you help. And so
definitely.
And so
either how many, or I think it's really a combination of these. So I don't think it's either or, but also like the depth of the impact, right? Like if you can get, sometimes I have a hard time believing this one, not in my mind, but in practice, I tend to like want to give, like pack so much into an offer or something. But, if you can actually get somebody a result very quickly, like if you can get somebody a life-changing result very quickly, that is going to be so valuable to them. In particular, like if you, I was just thinking about, I think I got this email from a lady who was talking about like how to market to wealthy clients because she's a millionaire. So she was basically telling you like, this is how you can market to me,
Yeah.
And she was saying, she's a money mindset coach. So that's why she was talking about that. And one of the things that was on the list was a sleep trainer to help her sleep train her child, because she had these speaking gigs and it was like really affecting her work and her home life and everything, that she couldn't like figure out the whole thing with her kid sleeping. And so, yeah, if you can help her solve that problem really fast, that's how much do you think that's worth to her? I think said she makes like, I can't remember, she said $8,000 a speaking gig or $18,000. But yeah, she wanted to sleep.
Yeah, that's probably like a lot of when it comes to people with money, like time is the factor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? Like it's one of the biggest factors is like, I have money. I can't get my time.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I forget about this because I don't come from money. So like I have always just valued, what would be the other thing? Maybe if somebody's buying,
it's price. Some people are price
motivated. Of course. Yes, exactly. It'd be price or time. Yeah. So I forget about that, but that would be a great thing to leverage, especially if you're a massage therapist.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the main value propositions for mobile therapists as well. Like a
Yeah.
lot of it, I don't do a lot of out call massage or in-home massage just because of my time and the
Yeah.
time it takes me to do those things. And I can get 2 more clients in my day versus,
Mhm.
I can work on 7 people or 5 if I'm mobile,
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I do work on one person mobile, and yeah, she's a millionaire, and
Yeah. That makes so much sense.
I'm working, I get the massage, I go back to work. Like I don't have time to drive places. She literally
Yeah.
has she has a membership to Massage Heights and has like 80 hours built up because she just doesn't go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I'm
Pays
not a
me every.
millionaire yet, but I can only imagine how busy you get,
So she's still paying for that because she doesn't want to lose the hours, but she's still paying me to come out every 2 weeks.
Of course she is.
I'm like, just cancel it, dude. Like you can afford to lose it. No.
Yeah. I wanted to share, since you have a lot of massage therapists in your audience, I wanted to share something that I thought recently when I was either driving to my massage appointment or like leaving it, like as a client.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was driving to it, and something like, I had this thought, and I was remembering how I'm trying to think of like maybe how insecure I was around my pricing, right? Because I was like, oh my God, like $100. I'm scared to ask people for $100. You know what I mean? I was really afraid to ask people for $100. So that felt like a lot of money to me. But the truth is, if I can say this so humbly, and I mean that, now I make enough money to where like $100 that's very easy for me to ask for at this point. And I'm like, I was thinking, man, I wish I would have, if I could have just, I don't know if I was thinking like if I could have told me then or something, but I think I wanted to share is that I value my massage appointments so much. And I barely care what they cost. And that sounds crazy. But like, I'm obsessed with my massage therapist. I love how she makes me feel. My job is stressful. I know everybody feels like their job is stressful, but I feel like, I'm trying to grow a business. That is so hard. It's so much harder than I ever would have imagined, because I probably wouldn't have done it if, maybe parenting is like that too. I don't know. So where you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And this is so hard. And I would not have done it if I knew how hard.
For sure.
So so growing a business is super hard. Sometimes it's super stressful. And when I have my massage, I absolutely think it is worth every dollar. I think I pay her. I honestly don't even really know. This sounds really bad, but I barely know what her rate is, because actually, come to think of it, it's the same thing. It's like, I get the mindset. I think she would be scared to tell me like how much money it really is. Does that sound weird? So I literally just give her like, I don't know. I like feel it out, and I usually give her like $100, $150, and I'm happy.
You don't even know her rate's like $40.
She does love me.
She's like, you're my best client. It's like $29.99 or something.
Whatever. Like, I'm like, this is like, whether, like, I think if she gives me like a 90-minute massage, she's very like fluid, which is great for me. I love that. Meaning that, it's like, I can book last minute or whatever. I know that's like, people don't love that, but I think I know she really likes that. She doesn't like to plan ahead. So I relate to her. I get it. Like, I'm very fluid. I think I was really afraid to ask people for $100, but I'm just saying, like when she gives me a 60-minute massage, I usually am like, I give her 100. And then if she gives me like a 90-minute massage, I give her, I don't know, somewhere between 125 or 150-ish, I guess.
Right. So, but you don't mind just paying for any massage at $100. Like,
that's such a good point. No, she's amazing.
Right. Like, I'm sure there's massages you've had that you're like, this is worth $0.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Sometimes I'm pissed that I have to pay for it.
The thing is I think a lot of massage therapists don't understand that they are that person to somebody sometimes. Even me. Right? Like, even though I'm definitely the best.
Yeah.
Right? No.
I don't know.
There's still people who don't like my massage, like there's always going to be. And I've had a problem, like charging my higher prices in the past too. Like I just recently, like just late last year, raised my prices, and I pushed it to a point where I'm like, I have to up level to this price point.
Yes. I love that.
And so I went from 80 and I jumped it up to 130.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much there now, like mentally, like maybe
Yeah.
I should raise it again. No, but like for sure in the beginning, I'm like, I have to add so much value to this to be able to justify this price to me. It isn't even to them, it's to me, to be able to confidently say this. So
I completely understand. I play this game all the time.
yeah, right. I bought hot face towels to go. I upgraded the actual water bottles instead of cups, upgraded the sheets. I decorated I completely upgraded the whole experience, which honestly, at a certain price point, I'm like, you have to do this.
I completely agree.
You can't just have this busted room. You can have a busted room at $80.
Listen, I'm doing this in my business right now too. So I completely agree with you. My version of that is I'm charging higher rates now. So like in my group programs and stuff like that. So I'm like, I gotta like invest in like getting like super amazing in my storefront, right? My storefront is like really high quality photos that are like styled, meaning not just the clothes, but like there's just has to be a lot of thought into like what props am I going to use. So why? Because I have to like be the thing that like my clients want to be, and I need to show like this high end thing, not in a fake way. To me, actually, and this is what I'm hearing you say too. Not fake at all. Actually, how I perceive it is it's the $1 million version of me. It's the next level version of me. It's the version of me that I'm growing into, that I'm becoming. And so, yeah, I totally agree with you. It's like, if you're going to charge more, then you need to like be the person that charges more. You know what I mean?
So that's what I was going to ask you earlier too, is that like, I heard you say earlier that you were like cramming all this extra value into your programs and your courses and the things that you teach. This is like a coaching question, but is that a way for you to help justify your own price?
Oh yeah. Pricing is a really fascinating topic to me. I'm telling you, I recently had an experience that I charged the most money that I've ever charged. And it for the least amount of work that I've ever had to do. And that was triggering AF, man. Like, I mean, that was really triggering. I felt like I wanted to just keep giving her stuff. You know what I mean? I was like, no. And not to mention that she's so low maintenance. Sometimes like too low maintenance. Like, okay, we got to make sure like you stay motivated. I think that might be part of the issue here. Right. Yeah. So wait, remind me. I'm so happy that you have a great memory. Are you a Virgo?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Because Virgos have incredible memories. So you always remember what I forgot. Like, I'm like, what was the question?
So we're talking about stacking value basically to justify your price.
I'm going to tell you right now, this is the truth of that. Okay. Less is more. I have to tell myself this all the time because my instinct is the complete opposite. My instinct is like, more shit. Like, not in like my closet's right there. My closet, I'm a super minimalist. I'm like obsessed with Marie Kondo. I love having hangers that have nothing on them. Because it makes me feel like I have like space in my mind. But when it comes to your offers, like truly, like you do want to, I really do think less is more. Now, when you're talking about these towels, like that sounds awesome. That sounds really nice. But I do really think that, like think about this. Like, what's super valuable or adds value to the space is like, I'm thinking about massage specifically, intention. Like just being 100%. Really intentional. It doesn't cost money to be intentional, but if you can be intentional, like I truly believe like the client feels that. And then, yeah, so I do think less is more. Like for example, I don't know if anybody would be able to relate to this, but in my group program, for example, like I just built out this mastermind and I'm teaching people how to create personal brands. Right. So when I was building out before we put it anywhere, like I'm building it in a Facebook group first so that we can see like what stays, what goes, whatever. And again, my first instinct was like every template I've ever written, like for every email sequence, sales page, like everything I've ever written that somebody could take. And like, is it valuable for people to have those? Yes. But has anyone looked at them? No. Why? Because it's like too much shit in the guides. Like, what is all of that? You know? So like, it would be much more, people would be able to actually extract the value if there was less there, you know?
Yeah, and I've battled with this thought like when I'm creating my courses too, because like the initial thought is I need to have a ton of content in here to make it worth the thing, right? And then I heard a guy who's a millionaire talk about, he goes, I spent $1,000 on a 1 hour, one video thing. He's like, and I'd much prefer that there's not, 20 hours of content in this thing. Just give me the information, make it valuable. And the less time I have to spend in this course, the better.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's like a millionaire mindset. Almost like, like I feel like
it is.
This might hurt some feelings, but I feel like massage therapists, look, they're barking at a $200 course. A lot of them, I can't afford that. I can't do that, even though it's going to bring them thousands of more dollars in, like guaranteed, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what was I saying? Do you remember?
You were talking about, I want to be good at this. Yeah, we were talking about this guy with the course.
Yeah, so he's not barking. But I feel like I need to do that for them to be able to justify the price, like put more videos in there, more content, and make sure, like, because there's a lot of content that I could have that I could break all this down to a really, really easy 1 hour thing. Versus,
I have a solution for you. I have two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So, solutions for you. Okay. Number one is like so much social proof that like no one could ever argue with it. It's like, do you want these results or do you not want these results? So social proof, I'm obsessed with it right now because like I have webinar fever. Like I've just been studying a lot of webinars lately, and the webinars that where people are like legit, like they're going to sell without ever having a sales call. They're going to sell without ever talking to you. Like there's no connection. So like the less human connection somebody has with the lead, the more social proof you need. And I'm talking like you could literally put it all over your freaking sales page to the point where,
oh baby.
What?
I'm on a,
what are you doing?
Sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
Come here. You want to say hi?
Yeah. Oh, hi. What do you got?
Hold on. Here. You can hear.
My name is Chrissy.
Say hi, Chrissy.
Hi. Hi. What's your name?
Did you just wake up from your nap? Where's Mom at?
Out of a car.
Out in the car?
Yeah.
How did you get up here?
I opened the door. Then I go.
That's logical.
Yeah.
She's almost 3. What's that?
Oh, I was trying to remember what I was trying to think of what my other suggestion was going to be. So the first one I was saying was like social proof, like so much social proof, more than you even think you need, that it's literally just, you couldn't argue with it. And, there is an art or like a art or science. I don't know. It's kind of a little bit of both when it comes to testimonials, because I have clients send me testimonials, when they want me to put it on their sales page, and they'll send me like these big blocks of text. And I'm like, yeah, nobody's reading that. So I'm talking about like little bits of copy. Maybe even like on my sales page, I even have like a headline on top of each of them that has like, this result with like an emoji and like this result and like an emoji, So just assume that nobody's going to read it. But yeah, if you have tons of social proof that specifically says, I created this result and it's the exact results that your dream client wants, right? Like, what is it that your client wants? I don't know. As a result, they want to increase their income.
Yeah. Get more bookings.
Yeah. And then also I would throw in a little bit of like, have you ever seen, I'm going to write an email about this soon. Have you ever seen like, Tony Robbins, he teaches like our 6 human needs or something. There's like certainty, uncertainty, and this one is the one that I'm thinking of is significance. So yes, people want money, but also people, I think more than money, people really want significance. They want to be acknowledged for being like really amazing. So and it's true, like I say that sarcastically, but we all have that primal need. And so if you speak into that too, it's like, if you have some testimonials where the person like 10x their, income, but then you also have some where it's like the client left and they were just like, drooling and they had like crazy massage hair and they just, whatever, or like, oh, my client, tips me. I charge this, but my client, my clients regularly over tip me by such and such amount or something like that. So things that are just true, obviously, but also are the exact things that like your dream client is going to be looking at your sales page going, I want that. I want that. I want that. You need to, every single sales transaction requires a gap between you're here, you want to be here, but you need my product to get there. Like, so that's how you create that gap. The other thing is you can reduce, so that creates tension. So people really want what you have. The other thing is, if you're open to it, but I love payment plans. And I've started doing this for like some of my, especially like my agency clients. I do it all the time anyways, but for my agency clients, I started doing this only recently. It's because I bought a website. I'm going to have my first website. I'm so excited. And it's expensive. It's really expensive. I'm paying this girl a lot of money. And I couldn't afford it if I had to.
How much?
Well, for the design, it's $7,000. So I think that's a lot. Yeah, just for design and not copy. So if you threw copy in, then that would be like, I don't know, I suppose like an $11,000, $12,000, so luckily I can write my own copy. So anyways, I don't have $7,000 just sitting around. So I wouldn't be able to pay her $7,000. I also wouldn't be able to pay her if she was like, oh, you can pay the deposit and like a lot of copywriters will do that. But she was like, you can do payment plans. So she lets me pay like, she actually had a bunch of different options. I thought it was so cool. I went with the $1,300 a month option because I was like, hey, I can pay that, So, so now I built that into my business so that it's an easy yes. So it's like always be asking yourself, how can I make this easier for someone to say yes to? And sometimes when it comes to pricing, if you're getting a lot of price objections, one potential thing you could do is say, okay, no problem. You can actually split that up over several payments, and you have to just like decide what feels good to you. But for me, I love doing that because it also creates the secret sauce, MRR. Maybe not secret sauce, but secret, like I like it, which is I'm trying to think of what that stands for because I talk about it all the time with my business manager, but it's monthly recurring revenue. So what I really love about payment plans is I think they're a win because for me, they create like a stability in my income because I'm like, oh, okay, well, cool. You can just pay me over 3 months and then I know money's coming in and then I stack that.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I tell therapists too about like packages or I used to do a monthly membership. I just do packages now, but they're like, I don't want a discount. I'm like, dude, you're giving a better deal because they're paying for 12 up front. And now you have a guarantee.
Yeah. I never felt comfortable to do it. I wish I had, but I told you, I really I had a lot of money mindset stuff going on, but my mom's
never going to stop, dude.
No, it never stops. It never stops.
No, you always have to it's so you just true. Get to the next level of like, okay, what's my block now?
It's like, so true.
Honestly, it'd be interesting to meet. It's interesting to meet people or hear about people who don't have those kind of blocks. I don't know that I've ever met one, but
I was gonna say they don't exist, but that might not really be true.
No, I think there's some out there that I don't think.
I think so too, because I was actually gonna say earlier. Money. I don't know if you know. Do you know about human design?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's like very complicated, honestly, and I barely understand it. But it's like astrology with like all this stuff. It's like me asking like, "What's your sign?" But anyways, but. If people, because it's a lot of people don't know what it is. So even without knowing what it is, bottom line is like in all your chakra centers in human design, like it could be open or it could be closed. And if it's closed, if it's open, then you're like more maybe like susceptible to other people's energy, influenced in that chakra. And also like it could make you like more empathic in that chakra too, you know, so that's like the nice thing. Most people in their heart chakra, most people have an open heart chakra, which is why most people experience that struggle with self-worth. People with closed hearts, I haven't ever met one. But my business mastermind that I'm in is run by my astrologer. And she literally told me, she was like, you need to book a call with this girl, which I did. And then it like fell through. She was like, you need to book a call with this girl who she knew or whatever. Just connect with her. She's like, because when you talk with her, you are going to feel like what it feels like to actually, you know, I believe that with like energies, it's like, if you've never experienced an energy, then it's just like it doesn't exist for you. What that makes me think of is this, which I really, really want to share this. Okay. So there's a TED talk with this lady that I'm obsessed with. And maybe you know who she is. She's from North Korea. Have you seen this lady?
I don't know. So
I heard about her because she was on the Jordan Peterson podcast. So that's why I didn't know if you would have heard of her. But anyway, so she's from North Korea, and her TED talk, she escaped North Korea. Oh, no,
I think I have seen some clips of her.
She is so amazing. So yeah. I think she was like in slavery in China, and I don't even know. But anyway, now she lives in the States, and she is like brilliant. But her TED talk is amazing because it is about when a word does not exist in a society, the concept does not exist in the society. And she actually said that in North Korea, the word love does not exist. Is that crazy?
That's crazy.
That's insane. So anyways, when it comes to the self-worth piece, I was just thinking about like an energy that we're not used to being around because closed hearts are rare. We're actually not conditioned to knowing people who have like a, not like we were talking about, not cocky thing, but like genuinely know their worth. That's kind of like a rare energy.
Yeah. I think it is. It is, and I think we are attracted to those people when we see them.
I would think so. I would hope so.
But maybe they're actually not. We just think they are. You know, they're probably dealing with their own. I always think like they're probably dealing with their own.
Well, everyone's dealing with it. But I believe that.
Right. So I was listening to this TikTok where this guy, he's like my friend. He's like, my friend just came out his first year, he flipped and sold 100 houses. Right. And he's like, I asked him, I'm like, how the heck did you do that? And he's like, well, what do you mean? He's like, that's so many houses. He goes, I had no idea that wasn't normal. All my friends were doing it. And so that's just what I did. You know? That's
amazing.
And I was like, that, like, can you imagine?
I'm hanging out with the wrong friends. That's what I'm thinking.
You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine? Like, yeah, this is the normal, you know? And I think so much of our issues do come from the people we hang out with.
For sure.
The parents and what we're taught. Like, I'm already having to deal with my kids because of the outside influence, but my nephew, I'm taking them to the trampoline park the other day, and they're talking about my son. He goes, did you know my dad is like next year he's going to be like a millionaire?
Oh,
you know,
that's so
sweet. I'm having conversations with my kids around business and stuff, like my 10-year-old and my 7-year-old. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. I'm like, instead of buying the thing that you want, I'm like, you need to save that money and then buy something that pays for the things you want.
I love that.
This is the concept I'm trying to teach them.
That is so awesome.
Instead of spending the $100 you get, I'm like, save up a couple more. Let's buy a bounce house. We'll rent that thing out, and then you can just have this income coming in, and it'll be, you'll get 50%. And so I'm gonna start that business with them.
That is so cool.
Anyways, my nephew they're talking about money. He goes, and my nephew just automatic. He goes, money doesn't make you happy. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, dude, I gotta check this. You know,
he's like shaming you.
He's already having this like one, I don't even know why money and happiness are in the same conversation. Like, why? What
Yeah,
is
we
that
weren't
even?
talking about happiness.
I'm like, we're not talking about happiness. We're talking about money. Like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, two, yes, it does, bro. Like,
Yeah,
aren't we going to the trampoline park right now? He's like, yeah. I'm like,
yeah,
does that make you happy? He's like, yeah. I'm like, look, happiness is a fleeting emotion. This
for
is
sure.
not a constant state of mind. Like, things make us happy and then some things don't. And
Mm-hmm.
money has nothing to do with this conversation. We
Yeah.
need it. Like, we
Mhm.
need it, period.
Yeah,
And so
for
like
sure.
I'm having to like, already he's, what is he? He's 8 or 9. I think he's about to turn 9.
Yeah.
Already having these money conversations because of the people that he's around and the
Mm-hmm.
concepts that they're teaching him. Because I don't think, like, everybody wants money. Kids want money. Like, they understand already that this stuff is useful,
Yeah.
this stuff, yeah, this gets me to do the things I want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think so many people throw this concept around, money doesn't make you happy. I'm like, why are we even talking about these things together? I don't even understand.
Mm-hmm.
Money gets me time that allows me to, like, if I have more money, I can spend more time with my family, which makes me happy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's so many things that money can buy that does create happiness, that one, we could talk about it, but I don't even think they should be in the same conversation. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
and options and freedom. And I mean, yeah, I mean, it's all very layered and life is kind of complicated. But have you read Rich Dad Poor Dad?
I haven't.
Because I read that book in high school, which like I hadn't read it in a long time. Obviously, that was a million years ago, literally 20. Um, but then my husband read it very recently, and I will say that, I will say that, you know, my brother was like an economics major in college.
Mhm.
So like, and he was like my roommate for years and years and years. So like we thought about these things. And then I would say like my husband, I feel like I could say like I feel funny even saying it, but he was raised by hippies. That's what I'm trying to say. And so,
Yeah.
and he's a musician, right? So he just read the book, and oh my gosh, I am like blown away. Like he is like really, like he's starting to like share concepts with me that are starting to really open my mind, because obviously like after reading the book, it opened his mind. He started thinking about things differently. He started talking to me about creating assets, and I'm like, whoa, like who are you right now?
Right.
So that's a really good book, and I definitely recommend that book for anybody in your audience for sure. So we better wrap up anyways. It's been over an hour, and I think my husband's home now.
Yeah, dude, I think I could talk to you all day.
Oh, because we're like into all the same stuff.
Absolutely. And I mean, your energy is just amazing. Thank you so much for
Oh,
jumping on the
thank
call with me.
you. I
Real
love
quick,
yours too.
before we do jump off, I mean,
Yeah.
what are like 1 or 2 tips that you could give people to do better with their own copy?
Oh, sure. So I feel like massage therapists, I would say, look, if you have your own business, start your, like get an email service provider. So like the free one is, what is the MailChimp? I had to think about what it was called, because I use a different one, but anyway.
MailChimp, I use Constant Contact.
Okay. Yeah. And there's another one. I can't remember which one. There's another one that's free that's better than MailChimp, because MailChimp is the kind of thing that like once your list actually starts growing and you actually start going like, once you really start like seeing the power of having an email list, you're going to want to get off MailChimp. But whatever, start where you're at. So get a MailChimp account, create something of value that you can share with your clients, and put it, if you have like an Instagram account, put that in your bio, so that people can find that and opt into it and join your list, and then send out, I would say for the massage industry, you could get away with like sending like a monthly newsletter. It depends on the industry. So between a monthly to, if you end up that you really like communicating with your peeps that way, then maybe you could even do like a weekly.
I
But
was
I
doing a
think,
weekly for a while.
yeah, I mean, believe me, in my industry, like because my people are so heavily marketed too, weekly is a minimum. Like, And then really we really aim to do like at least 2 a week, but that's different. Like I'm talking about coaches and marketers, people who get marketed to a lot. Your average person, like my husband, right? Like it's funny calling him the average person, but I'm saying like he doesn't have an online business, so he's not marketed to like crazy heavy. I see the inbox, I see his inbox, and I'm like, oh my God, my inbox is so much more full than yours because I'm in everybody's funnel. So someone like that, like you could email him like once a month and you stay top of mind. And then what happens is anytime they're going to refer like their friends or family to a massage therapist, they're going to think of you first because you're in their email inbox. So I would say that's honestly, when it comes to online marketing, that's the most professional thing you can do, because there's a lot of really flashy stuff. And there's a lot of stuff to where like, like, do I need to be making reels? Do I need to be doing all this stuff? And it's like, I mean, you can do all that stuff if you like doing it. But there's a lot of conversation around like, and a lot of data around, I think I actually heard today, Facebook shows your content to like 3% of your friends.
Yeah.
So that's not a lot. Okay. But 100% of the people on your email list are going to get your email. It might be in spam, so that's a whole other issue. You can kind of try to navigate that, but still your odds are a lot better. So my suggestion would be, if you want like a great marketing tip, I know that's not specific to copy, but a great marketing tip is definitely get yourself an email service provider, because that's the thing. You can't mass email through your Gmail account. Like you need to have no, but people try to do that. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen that, but I know people do that. So don't do that. I actually think that's illegal. You have to use an email service provider and then make yourself like a lead generator, a freebie, something that's like a checklist, a PDF, something that somebody can consume in like 2 minutes, very easy, but is high value. Like, I don't know, something to do with a self-care thing. Think about it and make it something that people genuinely would want, and then offer that to everybody and get everybody.
Yeah, one of the things I've been working on that I kind of put off to the side was a like how to solve your own problem with using a lacrosse ball course. Like 1 minute videos on upper back pain, neck pain, like
ooh.
Yeah,
I like that.
I probably should get that back together, and then
that sounds super cool. I really like that.
Freebie. I have all the videos. I just got to put them online.
Mm-hmm. So one thing you could do to market test it before you put energy into it is, is you could, like, for example, the tool that you're talking about, because the tool I would think could be in the title of it or in the tagline. But again, this is a whole other thing. Like, I'm not trying to get complicated, but what was the name of the tool that you were just talking about?
Lacrosse ball.
Okay. So like with a lacrosse ball, so you would want to talk about it with people and be like, oh yeah. So like, just find out, do people who, because that's all that matters for your list, do the people in your inner circle or the people who you're coming in contact with every day, do they know what a lacrosse ball is? Do they want to know how to use one? Maybe they're like, oh, like, which one's the lacrosse ball? Is it the one that's like,
it's just like it's a hard rubber ball.
Yeah. I was trying to think of the size of it. So, yeah, my point is like, just, that's how you can market test it, is to have conversation about it before you put energy into creating something. You don't have to say, would you want this thing? Cause like we already talked about, people literally do not know what they want. So that's not really a very valuable question. What's much more valuable is just to have very organic conversations with people where you start talking about lacrosse balls and then you check out the response you're getting. Are people like really excited? I'll give you an example. So like inside my mastermind, I did a lesson. I did many lessons. Like I did a lesson on the energetics of marketing. I did a lesson on messaging. I did a lesson on copywriting. Well, I did a lesson on creating your elevator pitch. And then, I just noticed the energy on the call. Everybody was very engaged, and I'm like, shit, like I need to create a freebie about this. This might need to go on the header of my website. Maybe I'll create a free training and put it inside my Facebook group. And then like, I can start, kind of talking to people and inviting hey, I have a free training for elevator pitches inside my free Facebook group. Join my free Facebook group, because Why? I know now that people are obsessed with talking about their elevator pitch. I also know that people are obsessed talking about their brand pillars. People love talking about their pillars. What am I going to post about? What am I going to post about? And then they love talking about what are the 4 topics that make up their brand. I know that because I pay attention to people's responses. So I would recommend you doing that about the lacrosse ball. Start having conversations about it, see how people respond. And if people are really excited about it, like, you just don't know what is going to really hit until, this is what I was talking about with marketing and sales being so honest. People's energy doesn't lie.
Yeah.
Their words could lie, but their energy doesn't lie. And so when they're excited about what you're talking about, you need to pay attention to that as a business owner and be like, I could create a resource around that. How can I make that easier? Or if people are really, really stuck, I'm going on and on, but this is another really good example. Is like, I have clients who will reach out to me and be like, I'm so stuck. I don't know how to write this thing. I really want to write this thing. Okay. So when I create resources to help clients get inspired to write, that is very valuable,
Yeah.
So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I recommend before you go and create this freebie is like, start talking to people about it, because if they're not that excited, that's okay. There's a zillion things, your perfect freebie is waiting for you.
That's perfect advice. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Dude, you're such a badass.
Thanks.
I think
you are too.
Like, what a badass, dude.
Thanks.
Is there anything that you want to plug or you want to tell people about, like how to find you on social, stuff like that? Go ahead.
Gosh, I would love it if people would join my Facebook group. That's where I like to hang out the most. I actually haven't really been hanging out on Instagram that much, just because I removed social media from my phone. And the only thing, because I didn't want to like wake up and scroll and like waste an hour and a half of my day every single day, which it was so crazy. So I just started removing social media off my phone at night. And then the only one that I like have to keep putting back on my phone is Facebook, because I work basically on Facebook. So so I haven't really been on Instagram that much, but what I'm saying is I love hanging out in my Facebook group. So you could follow me personally, Chrisie Augustina. You find me on Facebook, and then you can join my group. And the name of the group is The Brand Is You, because it is.
Awesome. Thank you so much for jumping on this call with me. Hang tight and